Diamondlot, The Diamond Squad. By Eric Waugh. Chapter 33. Attack on Fifthguard. The Dark Paladin waited for its challengers to approach. Although there were many warriors within the area to help, Zoe knew they had to separate to contain the damage that was spreading through Fifthguard. She told Zaid with his incredible speed, he would be the best option to get all the citizens to safety. After Zaid left, Zoe looked up at the sky and saw the terrifying Spectre Rider that had the castle under surveillance. Chelsea looked at Lilu and she gave her the confident look back. Gia enchanted Lilu with a spell that caused her to grow in size, strength, and tenacity. Chelsea then hopped on Lilu's back and assured Zoe that they would take down the Spectre Rider. Zoe was going to help fight against the Paladin, but Nas told Sebastian to take the advisor with him and find the Queen. Nas figured it was far more important for Zoe to reunite with the Queen so they could get control back of Fifthguard. So Zoe hopped onto the Griffin and along with Sebastian, they made their way towards the Queen. Nas turned around to face her new opponent. She cracked her knuckles as she stood beside an unlikely ally, Gia. The two were not fond of each other and they told each other to stay out of the way. In the Colosseum, Rihanna, Rylin, Jet, and Admiral Sam were met with a giant ogre that slowly marched towards them. There was plenty of time for the four to come out with a plan, but Jet would not listen. He summoned his shadow beast and pushed everyone else aside. It got the first strike in and looked to have the advantage over the ogre. But after the first punch, the ogre surprised the shadow by casting a multitude of fireballs that burned it. With Jet's powers weakened, Rylin, Rihanna, and Sam tried to help him, but Jet refused. He wanted to take care of the ogre himself. The ogre lifted its club in midair, signaling it was about to cast its fireball spell again. Jet stood still anticipating the attack, but Admiral Sam immediately noticed something that no one else knew. The fireball shot straight past the shadow beast, leaving Jet confused. He stood still as he finally realized the fireball was aimed at him. He was about to take the full force of the attack, but thankfully he was pushed out of the crossfire by Admiral Sam. Jet was unharmed, but Sam was severely burned by the attack. When he slowly got back up, he found that his shadow powers had disappeared. Realizing his mistake, Jet made his way towards Sam and found her unconscious, but still breathing. He looked to both Rihanna and Rylin, hoping they could forgive him for his foolish actions. They forgave him and agreed to work together to take down the ogre. The ogre had left, assuming it had won when Jet's shadow disappeared. It was about to cause terror on the innocent civilians, but it felt a rock hit its head. Rylin got the ogre's attention and it turned around and swung its club at the small warrior. Because of its bulky size, the swing was so slow, and Rylin had more than enough time to run away. Rihanna snuck through the rooftops and jumped onto the shoulder of the ogre. With the ogre focused on Rylin, Rihanna shouted as loud as she could, destroying the eardrums of the ogre. Rihanna remained on the shoulder, forcing it to try to slap her off, but Rihanna was too quick and the ogre slapped itself in the face. While the ogre was in pain, Rylin had a rope in his hands and he wrapped it around one of the ankles of the giant. The ogre didn't notice the gladiator as Jet reappeared with his shadow beast and it charged straight at the enemy. The ogre readied itself to cast a fireball, but it felt something pulling one of its legs. It was Rylin who had tied the rope and was now pulling on it. Rihanna also reappeared on the ogre's shoulder and shouted in its ear again. With so many distractions, the ogre couldn't focus. When Jet's shadow was in range to strike, Rihanna jumped out of the way and allowed the shadow beast to land a powerful hit. With its fading consciousness, the ogre wondered how some puny humans won. In its defeat, the ogre failed to realize was that it didn't lose because of one human. It lost because Rylin, Rihanna, and Jet were able to work together and execute the strategy needed to defeat the ogre. A strategy that Admiral Sam devised. As they were exhausted from their victory, a war horn was sounded.